Hello. Hi, 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 hi. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Do, do. Clarissa, you have a little crown beside your name. Prime Gaming. What does that mean? Congratulations on the little crown beside your name. So far, I see... Well, now I can't get this to go away. There we go. So I see Lenari, I see Bandit, and I see Florissa. Hello, hello, hello. Ooh, let's stretch my back out, shall we? Ugh! So I'm excited for tonight. I've been planning it. I'm going to do some reading. I'm going to be reading from an actual book. So you guys will hear my page turning and everything. I'm very excited about it. And then we're going to be watching Jim Henson's Sapsorrow. And we have constellations. Hello. Book page ASMR. Exactly. I have a version. My partner was sweet enough to buy this for me because I love the Grimm books so much that they bought me Gris Grimbley's Tales from the Brothers Grimm. And it's all done with Gris Grimble's illustrations, which are just these gorgeous watercolor paintings paired with the grim and dark stories of the Brothers Grimm. And we're actually going to be looking at two of their stories tonight because we are looking at Cinderella, the original Cinderella, and we are also going to be looking at the original story, Catskin, or otherwise known as Sapsorrow. Do. Thank you so much. They've been fun to do. I was inspired by Heidi. I was like, oh, I should probably get some stickers done that are like that look like me and don't look like my cat. So we have a couple ones in there that are they're just silly chibi versions of me, but I like them. Once I'm affiliate, I'll shrink them down and I'll make them for subscribers. Aw, that's so sweet. Thank you. I hope you guys don't mind that I didn't animate the crying one. I didn't know what to animate on that one. Aw, thank you, Bandit. You're stealing books. It looks like you're just taking books. So I was doing some research on these tales, as I do. Thank you, The Creeping Void, for the sticker. Thank you, Constellations. I'm planning to move to another shelf. Yeah, you're like, nah, this one over here is where it's at. What's wrong with this shelf? You look cute here. I'm also going to find out before next chat how to change this one, because right now it's just Loon's art. But I want to put all of the art that you guys make me. No poo-poo in the fire! But yeah, I want to show off all the art that you guys send me, so I'm going to start showing off your art in that little space there. So during Tall Tale Tuesdays, I'll get to show off everybody's art that they post in the My Art category. Or if you've tagged me somewhere and I know you're in the chat, I'll put your stuff in. But I have to figure out how to do the itemized slideshow. But I can put anything there, really. I could put a picture of John Cena there.
There's a happy little tree that lives right here.
I could put a happy little tree loon, yes.
Are you sure about that?
Can I send anything? I'd prefer if you sent stuff that was your own so that I could link back saying that it was you. Do. But if you send me anything, I will put it up. But I'd prefer if it was done by you. So I am jiving to this. Dancing, Loon! I'm dancing. I'm mostly getting my notes up because I have several hundred notes everywhere. So I was very excited. I really like Cinderella. Oh, hey. No, no, no. Oh, that might be a problem. Browser, what are you doing, music? Of course, I start immediately having issues. There we go. It just got a little confused. So I think I'm going to turn the music down a little bit and we'll get into our history lesson. So the archetype that we're going to be looking at, yes, Wiggly Faye. Just time to wiggle. Oh Lord, she vibing. Larissa, I've already added one of your things because you drew me the archive. So I've added your your drawing of my archive into it already because I love it. It's two people, so sometimes it's well, it's many people, but it's my friend Constellations and then my friend Void. So they're partners, and they'll talk through the same account. Yeah. So Void is my moderator, and Constellations is their own person, but they just use Void's channel. Yeah. So when I was looking up Cinderella, the thing about this one is Cinderella is one of those stories that is told all over the world. So there is no real pinpoint. In fact, the oldest telling of a Cinderella-esque story actually harpens back to ancient Greece, where it is told of a young woman. I'm going to pull up the exact names here. So of a young woman that actually came from Egypt and was part of a colony in Noctris. So she was a very, very poor woman who didn't really have much to her name. And her name was Rhodopis. Please forgive my pronunciation. So the very, very first Cinderella was named Rhodopis. And her story is that an eagle swooped down and stole one of her dainty shoes one day. And when the king was doing his duties, a slipper fell from the eagle's mouth and dropped into his lap, and so shocked and taken by this, the shape and size of the slipper, he vows he will marry whoever the slipper belongs to. And of course he finds Rhodopis and marries her, and she flees her life of poverty and becomes a princess. Right? That's the very, very first story. And the fun thing about that is that, like, you know, the eagles are linked back to Zeus, so the idea is that it was God's intervention and stuff like that. Where we do see that there is stuff, as she should, yeah. Click my fingers. Chase that bag, sis. Yeah, hell yeah. But there's versions of this story all the way from ancient Greeks and ancient Rome over to Asia, spanning anywhere from like China to, there's a couple areas here. Yeah, there's a version of it in China. There's a version of it in the 1001 Nights, which are told by, or also known as the Arabian Nights. There's so many versions. The more popular version, which is the one that was taken from France, which is also the one told by Disney, which spans around French, is of course Cinderella, where we get the name. Croissant. The versions we're going to be looking at, the two variations, are both from German. So the German tale of them. Disney? Yuck. Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel about Disney. Yuck. So we're going to be focusing on the Grimm brothers. And as Linari. And as I say with any Grimm brothers things, understand that it says by them. It is not by them. The Grimm brothers collected and archived the stories, But these stories don't have an origin. It's part of folktale and folklore. Is no one really knows where these stories came from, and they spread through word of mouth. Oh, someone played a noise thing. Hello. Ooh. It was Loon. Guys are trying to distract me. The story can also be called Cinderella, the Little Glass Slipper. There's also other names for it. Oh my goodness, there's so much. I wrote down so much for this. So again, both these stories are coming from Greek origin, or not Greek, sorry, German origins. So I'll get started on reading Cinderella. So again, this is the Grimm brothers' version of Cinderella. The wife of a rich man fell sick, and as she felt that her end was drawing near, she called her only daughter to her bedside and said, "Dear child, be good and pious, and then the good God will always protect thee, and I will look down on thee from heaven, be near thee." Thereupon she closed her eyes and departed. Every day the maiden went to her mother's grave and wept, and she remained pious and good. When the winter came, the snow spread a white sheet over the grave, and when the spring sun had drawn it off again, the man had taken another wife. The woman had brought 2 daughters into the house with her, who were beautiful and fair-faced, but vile and black of heart. Now began the bad times for the poor stepchild. "Is the stupid goose to sit at the parlor with us?" said they. "He who wants to eat bread must earn it. Out with the kitchen wench." They took her pretty clothes away from her, put on old grey bedgown on her, and gave her wooden shoes. "Just look at the proud princess. How decked out she is," they cried, and laughed, and led her into the kitchen. There she had to do hard work from morning till night. Get up before daybreak, carry water, light fires, cook, and wash. Beside this, the sister did her every imaginable injury. They mocked her and emptied her peas and lentils into the ashes, so that she was forced to sit and pick them out again. In the evening, when she had worked till she was weary, she had no bed to go to, but had to sleep by the fireside in the ashes. And, as on that account, she always looked dusty and dirty, they called her Cinderella. It happened to be the father was once going to the fair, and he asked his 2 stepdaughters what he should bring back for them. "Beautiful dresses," said one. "And thou?" "Pearls and jewels," said the second. "And thou, Cinderella," said he, "what will you have?" "Father, break off for me the first branch which knocks against your hat on your way home." So he bought beautiful dresses, pearls, and jewels for his 2 stepdaughters, and on his way home, as he was riding through a green thicket, a hazel twig brushed against him and knocked off his hat. Then he broke off the branch and took it with him. When he reached home, he gave his stepdaughters the things which they had wished for, and to Cinderella he gave a branch from the hazel bush. Cinderella thanked him, went to her mother's grave, and planted the branch on it, and wept so much the tears fell down on it and watered it. And it grew, however, and became a handsome tree. Thrice a day Cinderella went and sat beneath it, and wept and prayed, and a little white bird always came on the tree, and if Cinderella expressed a wish, the bird threw down to her what she had wished for. It happened, however, that the king appointed a festival, which was to last 3 days, and to which all the beautiful young girls in the country were invited, in order that his son might choose a bride. When the 2 stepsisters heard that they too were to appear among the number, they were delighted, called Cinderella and said, "Comb our hair for us, brush our shoes, and fasten our buckles, for we are going to the festival at the king's palace." Cinderella obeyed, but wept, because she too would have liked to go with them to the dance, and begged her stepmother to allow her to do so. "Thou go, Cinderella," she said. "Thou art dusty and dirty, and wouldst go to the festival? Thou hast no clothes and shoes, and yet wouldst dance?" As, however, Cinderella went on asking, the stepmother at last said, "I have emptied a dish of lentils into the ash for thee. If thou hast picked them out again in 2 hours, thou shalt go with us." The maiden went through the back door into the garden and called, "You tame pigeons, you turtle doves, and all you birds beneath the sky, come and help me to pick the good into the pot, the bad into the crop." The 2 white pigeons came in by the kitchen window, and afterwards the turtle doves. Oh, I read this version when I was a kid in Spanish. Yep, this is the one. Is there a version with the 2 main being both girls? Yeah. Always uwu. Okay, going back in. The 2 white pigeons came in by the kitchen window, and afterwards the 2 turtle doves. And at last all the birds beneath the sky came whirling and crowding in and alighted amongst the ashes. And the pigeons nodded with their heads and began pick, 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 pick. And the rest began also pick, 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 and gathered all the good grains into the dish. Hardly had 1 hour passed.
Get some help.
I'm reading! And all flew out again. Then the girl took the dish to her stepmother and was glad, and believed that now she would be allowed to go with them to the festival. But the stepmother said, "No, Cinderella, thou hast no clothes, and thou canst not dance. Thou wouldst only be laughed at." And as Cinderella, there we go, wept at this, the stepmother said, "If thou canst pick 2 dishes of lentils out of the ashes for me in 1 hour, thou shalt go with us." And she thought to herself, that she most certainly cannot do. When the stepmother had emptied the 2 dishes of lentils amongst the ashes, the maiden went through the back door into the garden and cried, "You tame pigeons, you turtle doves, and all you birds under heaven, come and help me pick the good into the pot, the bad into the crop." Then 2 white pigeons came into the kitchen window, and afterwards the turtle doves. And at length all the birds beneath the sky came whirling and crowding into the alighted amongst the ashes. And the doves nodded with their heads and began to pick, 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 pick. And the others began also pick, 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 and gathered all the good seeds into the dishes. And before half an hour was over, they had already finished, and all flew away again. Then the maiden carried the dishes to the stepmother, and was delighted, and believed that she might go with them to the festival. But the stepmother said, "All this will not help thee. Thou goest not with us, for thou hast no clothes, and canst not dance. We should be ashamed of thee." On this she turned her back on Cinderella, and hurried away with her 2 proud daughters. As no one was now home, Stella went to her mother's grave beneath the hazel tree and cried, "Shiver and quiver, little tree, shiver, silver and gold thou throw down over me." Then the bird threw a gold and silver dress down to her, and slippers embroidered with silk and silver. She put the dress on with all speed, and went to the festival. Cinderella, someone call CPS. Yep. Cinderella. Am I saying the wrong thing? I'm not saying Cinder? Cinderella. Cinderella.
FBI, open up!
However, did not know her and thought she must... Oh, there we go. Then 2 birds threw down gold and silver. She put on the dress with all speed and went to the festival. Her sisters and stepmother, however, did not know her, and thought she must be a foreign princess, for she looked so beautiful in her golden dress. They never once thought of Cinderella, and believed that she was sitting at home in the dirt, picking lentils out of the ashes. The prince went to meet her, took her by the hand and danced with her. He would dance with her and no other maiden, and never let loose her hand. If anyone else came to invite her, he said, "This is my partner." She danced till it was evening, and then she wanted to go home. But the king's son said, "I will go with thee, and bear thee company," for he wished to see to whom the beautiful maiden belonged. She escaped from him, however, and sprang into the pigeon house. The king's son waited until her father came, and then he told him that a strange maiden had leapt into the pigeon house. The old man thought, "Can it be Cinderella?" And they had to bring him an axe and a pickaxe, that he might hew the pigeon house to pieces. But no one was inside. And when they got home, Cinderella lay in her dirty clothes among the ashes, and a dim little oil lamp was burning on the mantelpiece. For Cinderella had jumped quickly down from the back of the pigeon house, and had run into the little hazel tree, and there she had taken off her beautiful clothes and laid them on the grave, and the birds had taken them away again. And then she had placed herself in the kitchen, amongst the ashes, in her new grey gown. The next day the festival began afresh, and her parents and stepsisters had gone once more. Cinderella went to the hazel tree and said, "Shiver and quiver, my little tree, silver and gold throw down over me." And the birds threw down a much more beautiful dress than on the preceding day. And when Cinderella appeared at the festival in this dress, everyone was astounded. What in the... Sorry, guys, my phone just went crazy. Here we go. Silver and gold throw over me. Then the bird threw down a much more beautiful dress than on the preceding day, and when Cinderella appeared at the festival in this dress, everyone was astounded by her beauty. The king's son had waited until she came, and instantly took her by the hand and danced with no one but her. When others came to invite her, he said, "She is my partner." When evening came, she wished to leave, and the king's son followed her and wanted to see to which house she went. But she sprang away from him and into the garden behind the house. Therein stood a beautiful tall tree, on which hung the most magnificent pears. She clambered so nimbly between the branches, like a squirrel, that the king's son did not know where she was gone. He waited until her father came and said to him, "The strange maiden has escaped from me, and I believe she has climbed up the pear tree." The father thought, "Can it be Cinderella?" and had an axe brought and cut down the tree, but no one was on it. And when they got to the kitchen, Cinderella lay there amongst the ashes as usual, for she had jumped down onto the other side, had taken the beautiful dress to the bird on the little hazel tree, and put on her old grey gown. On the third day, when the parents and sisters had gone away, Cinderella once more to her mother's grave and said to the little tree, "Shiver and quiver, my little tree, silver and gold throw down over me." And now the bird threw down to her a dress which was more splendid and magnificent than she had ever had, and the slippers were golden. And when she went to the festival in the dress, no one knew how to speak out of astonishment. The king's son danced with her only, and if anyone invited her to dance, he said, "She is my partner." When evening came, Cinderella wished to leave, and the king's son was anxious to go with her. But she escaped from him so quickly that he could not follow her. The king's son, however, used a stratagem, and had caused the whole staircase to be smeared with pitch, and there, when she ran down, had the maiden's left slipper remained sticking. The king's son picked it up, and it was small and dainty, and all golden. The next morning he went with it to the father, and said to him, "No one shall be my wife, but she whose foot this golden slipper fits." Then were the two sisters glad, for they had pretty feet. The eldest went with the shoe into her room, and wanted to try it on, and her mother stood by, but she could not get her big toe into it, and the shoe was too small for her. Then her mother gave her a knife and said, "Cut the toe off. When thou art queen, thou wilt no more need to go on foot." The maiden cut the toe off, forced the foot into the shoe, and swallowed the pain, and went out to the king's son. Then he took her on his horse. Yeah. Woo! So OSHA violation. Sorry, I'm just reading some of the stuff here. Amazing how she can read with her eyes, because I have to look down. Baby doesn't like when I look down. Okay, going back to it, guys. I will read everybody's messages once I'm done. A knife and said, "Cut the toe off." The maiden cut the toe off first. They were, however, obligated to pass the grave, and there, on the hazel tree, sat the two pigeons and cried.
I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
"Turn and peep, turn and peep. There's blood within the shoe. The shoe is too small for her. The true bride waits for you." Then he looked at her foot and saw how the blood was streaming from it. He turned his horse around and took the false bride home again, and said she was not the true one, and that the other sister was to put the shoe on. Then this one went to her chamber and got her shoe safely into the shoe, but her heel was too large. So her mother gave her a knife and said, "Cut a bit off thy heel. When thou art queen, thou wilt have no more need to go on foot." The maiden cut a bit off of her heel, forcing her foot into the shoe, swallowed the pain, and went with the king's son. He took her on his horse as his bride and rode away with her. But when they passed the hazel tree, two little pigeons sat on it and cried, turn and peep, there's blood within the shoe. The shoe is too small for her. The true bride waits for you." I guess not. She's like so dirty that he's like, I don't get it. I don't see her. Hold the book up then. I need it close to me so I can read. I'm dyslexic, dude. He looked down at her foot and saw how the blood was running out of her shoe and how it had stained her white stocking. Then he turned his horse and took the false bride home again. "This also is not the right one," said he. "Have you no other daughter?" "No," said the man. There is still a little stunted kitchen wench, which my late wife left behind her, but she cannot possibly be the bride." The king's son said he was to send her up to him, but the mother answered, "Oh no, she is much too dirty. She cannot show herself." He absolutely insisted on it, and Cinderella had to be called. She first washed her hands and face clean, and then went and bowed down before the king's son, who gave her the golden shoe. Then she seated herself on a stool, drew her foot out of the heavy wooden shoe, and put it into the slipper, which fitted like a glove. And when she rose up and the king's son looked at her face, he recognized her, the beautiful maiden who had danced with him and cried, that is the true bride." The stepmother and the two sisters were terrified and became pale with rage. He, however, took Cinderella on his horse and rode away with her. As they passed by the hazel tree, the two white doves cried, turn and peep, no blood on the shoe. The shoe is not too small for her. The true bride rides with you." And then they had cried, when they had cried that, the two came flying down and placed themselves on Cinderella's shoulders, one on the right and the other on the left, and remained sitting there. Yeah, he should just notice. Maybe she has a mask or something. Something's going on there. When the wedding with the king's son had to be celebrated, the two false sisters came and wanted to get into the favor with Cinderella and share her good fortune. When the betrothed couple went to the church, the elder was on the right and the younger was on the left, and the pigeons pecked at one eye of each. Afterwards, they came back. The elder was on the left and the younger was on the right, and the pigeons pecked out the other eye of each. And thus, for their wickedness and falsehood, they were punished with blindness for as long as they lived. The end! So, yeah, rip. So a very, very different story from what we're used to, right? In this one, it's not just a cruel mother, it's a cruel father. But they would have wrote that out for the Disney version, specifically because it's much easier to show, say, a woman in a bad light than a guy, especially if she's a stepmother. So it's a bit different than showing like someone's biological father being an asshole. But for the time period, it does make sense that that would happen. Because that's just kind of how things were back then. But this story became so popular because it is about a poor girl fighting against tyranny and moving past it, right? In this one, the supernatural entity that helps her is in fact her mother. But in others, it's a fairy godmother. In others, it's an eagle. It's literally God. Right? Depending on where the story comes from, it changes and morphs over time, which is like one of the cool things to see about stories, is you have to be like, is this the one that you're reading? Oh, it is. Yeah. Because there are so many different variations on each story. Moving past it by marring into the tyranny. Yeah. Hydrate. Oh, I need to actually. My throat. And actually, Jamie asked if I can send my Twitch. So give me a second. I'm going to send my my link to my sibling. There we go. There we go. So we might have someone else joining us. Boop, 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 boop. So yeah, and again, that was the Grimm version. So there's several other different kinds. For example, usually it's just the single stepmother. She's also sometimes known as an ogress, which is very oftentimes a standhold for either a very ugly woman, or usually we'll see it drawn in fairy tales as a man in a dress, which is unfortunate. But in a lot of historical things, that's how you're going to see it. You'll see a lot of, especially trans women, kind of shown that way, like a Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland and the Duchess were both drawn and depicted as these women that looked like men, which is like transphobia of the time back then. But that's also how you'll see the stepsisters sometimes drawn as well. This one more so was like, they're so beautiful, they're so gorgeous, but their hearts are black and gross, and therefore they are ugly, which I kind of like that rendition of it a whole lot more. But again, it's all about where you're picking this the story from and where it's coming. My favorite version of this short horror comic, where the stepsisters and Cinderella have their legs swapped so that the stepsisters can fit in the shoe. That's horrifying! Clarissa, send that to me! Send that to me. I want to read that. Oh, that's scary. I like that. Should we behave if your sibling? Oh no, you guys can be as bad as you want. show them what the stream's all about. They probably won't talk and chat or anything. Yo. No, they could not handle a strong lady. They could not. They could not handle a strong lady. That sounds amazing. Yeah, that sounds so good. For some reason, I'm getting a weird pop-up on... I'm gonna have to close chat here. Don't worry, I can still see it. We're gonna open chat again. There we go, we fixed it. There we go. There we go. As F. That's mental. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds so good, though. It sounds so good. And the fun thing that we're going to be looking at now is, of course, Sapsorrow, which is a variation. I like to think of it as a cross between Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella. So it takes all of the elements of Cinderella, but adds on the story of cat skin. So the original story is of a girl who is a princess and is... Sorry, I love this sticker. Thank you, Loon, for the sticker. Beauty and the Beast is my favorite, so heck yeah. Well, the fun thing is that it's actually the princess that's the beast in this one. Bum, 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 which is very fun. So I'll see if I can pull that up. Do you guys want to watch it in the archive, or do you want to watch it on the games channel? Let's watch it on the games channel. Oh, things are a little messy over here. What happened? Oh my goodness, give me a hot sec. I was doing stuff and I think I messed things up. Let's get props back in here. There we go.
Shot.
Now we're good. Oh my god, I love that. Heck yeah, Beauty and the Beast is my favorite. Yeah! Yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah, remodeling gone wrong. It's because I was trying to figure things out. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. I'm trying to turn on the switch. There we go. There we go.
When people told themselves their past with stories, explained their present with stories, foretold the future.
And just before we start, I'm just letting you guys know that the noise, the stickers and noise sounds have been turned off while we're watching, just so that it doesn't interrupt. But please feel free to keep slapping them down because the stickers will show up. They just won't make noises. Bandit, you gotta read a book, buddy. Books are fun. Well, you know what? You can come here and I will read books to you. That's my whole thing. I'll come here and I'll read books. By the way, I can still hear the stickers and I can still hear the noise thing, so if you guys want to shock me, I'll still hear them. Yeah. All right, let's get playing.
With stories. The best place by the fire was kept for the storyteller.
I love this. They're getting more expressive with the puppet.
Beginning as I do at the beginning, and starting as I must at the start, let me show
And
you
this one he
fate through
won't.
the round of this ring. The girl whose finger fits this ring, she'll become queen. The law decrees it. What a lucky girl, you might think. Oh, no.
No, I truly aspire to actually be able to tell stories like the narrator in this. Like, he's just so good. I love his voice. I love his cadence. Everything
A king
about
had
it.
3 daughters. 2 were bad, 1 was good. Long without a wife, the king's only joy had been the joy of the proud father. But the girls were growing up. Soon there would be suitors. Soon the palace would be empty.
No,
I
no
must
Elmo,
find
no Big
myself a
Bird.
wife to comfort me, he thinks. The wedding ring, passed on from queen to queen, finger to finger, since any could remember. Only when the ring fits can the king marry.
She who wishes to wed our king must come forward and try the ring. The lucky bride will want for nothing.
Can't do that! Well, he's too old to be getting married. He ought to be dying shortly. I don't
Got
think
her
he's
ugly
too old.
stepsisters.
What's she whittering on about?
No. I know what'll happen. Some harpy'll step forward and the ring'll fit and they'll get married and then he'll die and she'll get everything. That's what'll happen.
The more the sisters sulked at the prospect of a stepmother, the viler they were to Sapsorrow, their sister. When their father set off to find his bride, they teased, taunted, and tormented her. They starved her.
Dog puppet. Their nose prosthetics are so good. I love it. Like the pig-ass character and the crow-ass character.
Indeed.
Where they really,
But
really
they
like
reckoned
tied
without
that
her
up.
friends,
I love it.
The
I love
creatures
it.
who lived in Sapsorrow's pockets, under her bed, perched on her chair. When she went to her room, she'd find berries and all kinds of nuts and fruits, delicious things.
We cried every night. Are our eyes bloodshot? They are, I know.
No bride then.
No, the ring was a cruel shape. None could wear it.
Oh, it's fate.
It's not intended.
Perhaps, I don't know.
You don't need a wife when you've got her.
Don't we love you enough, Daddy?
I know, I know. Where's your sister?
Well, who knows? Flirting with the guards, stuffing herself.
No, next.
It's bound to fit someone eventually. How disgusting.
That's me. I'm flirting with the guards.
I mean, we should be queens, actually. Together.
I know.
I mean, what if the ring were to fit you? Or me? Then what?
That's enough.
Too late! Too late! Can't you control these women? Get them out of here!
Well, he wouldn't want to marry us. But then he couldn't marry anybody, which is even better. Come on.
Oh, look, it's hopeless. Well, you try. You got fat fingers. I have not. Ow. Ow. It's stuck. Ow, it's completely stuck. Ow.
Maybe I picked it up over the years. I picked
No,
up her scream.
It's stuck. Look, it's swelling.
Can I help?
Help me. No, go away. Go on. Let her. She's better than you at these things.
Hello. Is everybody all right? What was all the hue and cry?
You and cry, Daddy.
They were crying and coming
Hue
from
and
the
cry.
room. I heard them.
Thanks, Bandit.
Well,
Then little Sapsorrow does a thing she will long regret. Obediently she bends, and oh, folly! She stoops, and oh, rash! She picks up the royal ring and slips it on for safekeeping. What? I know.
where's your mother's ring?
Well, she was playing with it, Father. Yes, we didn't want to sneak. I wasn't.
She wasn't.
Stay out of it, you.
Little one,
I wasn't.
Speaks to the
That's not
narrator
fair.
directly. I love it.
what's that? On your finger. Oh, no! Not on your ring finger.
It fits.
It's
It fits. No sooner
Bum,
done, no
bum,
sooner said. The news is afire in the palace, sweeping the corridors. The ring fits the king's daughter.
I
Oh,
cannot
Clarissa
marry
hasn't
my
seen one of
father,
these yet.
You cannot ignore the law.
but we cannot ignore the law.
You cannot marry your father.
But I cannot shame the king.
But you cannot marry your father.
But the ring,
Is the ring, is the ring.
Sire, it is the law of the land. The ring fits your child's finger. You must marry her.
Then I should cut off my finger.
why did you play with the ring? Why did you tamper with it? The ceremony, when must it take place?
As soon as the preparations allow.
Then first find me a dress of the palest silk, the color of the moon. I will not wed till I have it.
Very well. We will
It
find this
is.
dress.
Donkey Skin's another name for the
The
story.
princess in her woe plans a plan and schemes a scheme. To find such a gown will take time, and meantime you must all help me.
Someone call the cops. Yeah. In the time place, this was a normal occurrence. Inbreeding in royals, very common.
beautiful. But now I must have one of sparkling silver, like the stars. For my trousseau.
The dress is blue. Yeah, it
Where
is.
would we find such a dress?
Do as she bids. All in silver, sparkling with stars.
And off again went the king's men, scouring the land for such a dress. And all the while in Sapsorrow's room, another garment is being made, more marvelous, more magical.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I love this dress.
Just like the stars.
Sire, the council wait on you. Your people grow impatient. When do you marry?
Daughter?
This gown is for the wedding feast. The first one for the procession.
That's not
but
silver,
now I must have
says
one for the
Loon.
church. Gold it should be. Gold as the sun. Bring me such a dress, and the next day we shall wed.
Gold, she says. All gold, like the
It
sun.
has silver on it.
Bring her such
I'll give
a
them
dress.
that. It has
They shall
silver
be married on the
speckles.
morrow.
Gold. Spoiled.
And while the tailors cut cloth spun with pure
It better
gold,
be gold, says
Sapsorrow
Loon.
stayed shut up in her room. She never appeared. Only her creatures, flying in, slithering out, busy.
The puppets are some of them are
scurrying
so nice, and some of them are like the squirrel.
Princess,
Yes?
I have here a dress such as none before has seen. Of gold, dazzling. 100 hands have sewn it.
It is what I asked for. Very like the sun. Then we must marry on the morrow.
We must. We marry
He's the king.
on the morrow.
That's always my thing with this, is that he's the king. You just say no.
They can't get married.
Well,
Yeah!
the law says they must. And the girl has the 3 gowns she asked for. No, the ring fits, the feast is prepared, married on the morrow. Listen, bells toll, the streets fill.
Loon's gonna be
Only
her number one
Sapsorrow
representative.
stays silent in her room.
Your Highness, come out. The king awaits you.
In some versions he is. And this one he's just stupid.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
Sapsorrow.
That's what she's
A
doing.
strange thing of fur and feathers. For such has been the secret work of the past weeks. This creature. There she is, the ill-fated princess, hurrying away, her past discarded, her future.
Yeah,
Who knows?
I wouldn't show you guys a story where a girl gets married to her dad,
2
guys.
years
Jesus,
later, a
jeez.
poor creature of fur and feathers tended geese in a king's garden and scrubbed the pots in his kitchen so
That's the princess.
Princess of slops, yes. Princess of peelings, perhaps. Princess of the kitchen floor, certainly. And one day, this princess meets a prince.
Where's the cook, do you know? You don't know. Can you speak? Never mind. Give the cook a message, will you? Tonight there's a great ball at the palace. I've seen the menu and want goose. He knows how I like it. Roast goose with orange, baked in pastry. What's that look?
It's a look. If there was a tax on looking, we'd all be beggars. Sire.
What's your name?
No name. They call me the Straggle Tag.
Well, Miss Straggltag, you don't stare at princes. It's not polite in one so low. One so ugly.
Why eat geese? They don't harm you.
I happen to like geese.
So do I. That's why I don't eat them.
Pass on my message and take that for your manners.
Yeah, that line goes
Roast
so
goose,
hard.
orange. A dozen.
That night they sat, the geese, 12 cold stares on the royal table, while around them many danced, many daughters wore their mother's pearls. And the prince was there, handsome, admired, separate. Parents looked on and hoped, but the prince stood and smiled, but did not dance. Until, late, unannounced, mysterious, a woman enters in a dazzling gown, pale silk like the moon. And what could he do, the prince, but walk towards her? What could he do but lead her to the floor? And they danced. It was
the geese are bred.
As left to right, morning to night, dark to light, they belonged.
Yeah, he is not a good dude. But we're actually getting, like, this prince is more than just prince. We actually get to see some character.
I don't know your name. Wait!
Oh, my dears, the
we get some
prince is
personality,
left
at least.
mystified, excited, tingling. He's hooked, line and sinker.
I hope she dumps him.
The prince is sent down for clean towels.
Where is everybody?
Upstairs, they're all busy. Another ball so soon. We've barely recovered from the last one.
Oi, Thing! You go then.
That's totally fair, Bandit.
You sent down for towels?
I hope they're clean.
I'm sorry.
Oh, the window is slightly
I
ajar. It
disgust
only
you?
takes one push.
You amaze me. Look, cats chase mice. Hens lay eggs.
And what does that mean?
It means some things have to do with other things. I have nothing to do with you. You don't disgust me because I don't think about you.
I see.
Now, go away.
Oof. Yeah, rough. Rough.
And keep below stairs. And stop gawping!
No, he can't see for the feathers, this prince. He can't see for the fur. That night, the second ball, beauties come and beauties go. Dances are danced, but the prince stands alone, hoping, staring at the great doors. But nothing, no sign. Then, shh, shh.
Yeah, he does
Then
have her.
a dividing of the room, and there she is, in a dress sparkling with silver, like the stars.
Oh, that's funny.
I must go.
Don't, please. I think of nothing but you.
I find that hard to believe.
It's true. I can't sleep. Where do you live that I might find you?
I live where hens catch mice and cats lay eggs.
What? Please don't go.
Yeah, now run and drop kick him.
What's the matter?
What?
You look so sad.
No one else in the whole palace, in the whole kingdom speaks to me like this.
Are you in love? Is that the problem?
You couldn't possibly understand what I'm feeling.
Or are you worried you might only love your sweetheart for her beautiful gowns?
Were she in the humblest rags? Were she the poorest? Absolutely. You see, my darling has eyes like...
Rude!
Yes.
Oh, poor Sapsorrow.
A voice like... It's perfect. It's not her gowns. Well, how can you possibly understand?
Then you should marry her.
I want to. I want to, but I can't find her.
I see. I have a problem like yours. What advice would you give me?
Well, I don't know your beau. What's he like?
Handsome, rich,
Really?
proud.
Ah!
You see, when I think about him, it makes my head hurt and my tummy ache and my skin tingle and my heart do little somersaults.
Me too. Me too. Oh, yes, we're in love. And it's terrible.
Oh, I don't think I'm in love.
Oh, you're definitely in love. Little somersaults? Tingling skin? Definitely.
Straggle tag!
Yeah, he's just dumb.
Straggle tag, where the devil have you
I
got
have to go.
Yes, and listen, don't tell anyone we've spoken.
As
No,
you
back
wish.
to Dick.
It's just, you know, Prince and...
Straggle
Yeah,
tag!
1/3 of himbo.
Prince and Straggle-tag.
Oh, yes, the prince is lovesick, all right. Even before it's dark, he's there on the terrace in front of the ballroom. Tonight, he shivers. I'll see my love tonight.
Damage!
She still hasn't come, and this is the last of them.
Could I please have the dishes?
Ooh, look at this one. What's the hurry? Meeting a sweetheart? That's why the prince is still waiting. She hasn't finished the dishes.
That's literally it, though. Her sundress.
It's wonderful. But bells toll, evening's end.
The slipper!
Next day, a proclamation rings out around the palace.
The prince will marry the girl who fits the golden slipper.
Well, she thinks, what was true of the finger is true of the foot. She was cursed by the ring. Can she be blessed with slipper?
The
There's
fact
a
that they
queue
actually
now,
have like
but
a
it fits
puppet like,
nobody.
in her hair,
I might
twitching,
try.
so it looks
You
like
never
a mouse is
know.
there.
You've got feet like a Yorkshire pudding.
I have not. And what about our little beauty? Are you gonna try?
I might.
So up she goes.
Really?
And blow me, who's trying on the royal
I
slipper?
thought them all petite.
I think if I've done it. I've done it! It fits!
That's absurd.
It fits!
You're not the one.
I am! It fits! Look!
Her little piggy nose.
Handsome prince for my husband!
According to the proclamation, the prince must marry the woman who can wear the golden slipper.
Princess Bad Sister.
Princess Bad Sister! From
So funny.
From far away! Daughter of...
Of nobody. We have no parents, you see.
Clarissa, I'm starting
Mummy
to think
died a long
that
time
using
ago, and Daddy
magic
died last
fashion
year.
is just
Well, he
not
was
a good
ancient.
idea.
Princess
Facts.
Bad Sister of far away, daughter of nobody. She will marry the prince on the morrow.
Hooray! Now, can I just take the silly shoe off, please?
Why?
Well, it doesn't match. And it's the teensy-weensy bit tight. Just a pinch. Ouchie, wouchie. In fact, I think I may just have to have a tiny baby scream. Sister, do you think you could possibly help me to take this lovely slipper off my footsie-wootsie? Because I'm going to have to scream very loudly shortly. I think my leg is turning a little bit on the maroon side. It is. Get this show off my foot!
Sire,
He's so
I
dumb.
claim my right to try the slipper.
Ladies, darling, I think, not creatures.
What is it? Oh, get it out of it. Get rid of it.
She's called Straggle Tag.
So, may I?
Very well.
It fits. It can't.
It does fit. Will you keep your promise?
Oh, don't be ridiculous. You can't marry that thing.
Yes. I'll marry you. I'll keep my promise.
the badger was there all along!
Princess, it's you.
Darling, darling, they repeated to each other. Dearest, dearest. And what the prince didn't know, he very soon did. They talked and talked, explaining this and explaining that, stories of rings, stories of fur and feathers. And they wept for her dear father, smiled for poor Straggletag, forgave the bad sisters, danced for a day without going away. And
no, he's not.
Well, after that, they were so out of breath, they lay down and slept. And glory be, if I don't wake them soon, they'll never get wed.
And we're gonna let the credits play, because I like showing the credits of all the people that worked hard on this. Now we'll head back to the storytelling area. Oh, where's Nintendo? There it is. I'll hide that. There we go. We're back. We're back. 7 out of 10 wanted an actual magical skin of a donkey. Anyways, this music bangs. Yeah, it does. It's so good. Okay, we're gonna turn back on the music alerts are back on. Music is back on. We're back in business, baby. So yeah, again, that was Jim Henson's The Storyteller. Flores, I'm so glad you got to experience that with us. That was a show that I would watch in my childhood that really inspired me and really made me love stories. As I said, I grew up with dyslexia, so reading was really, really hard. So little things like that really helped and really helped inspired me to read. And it's part of the reason why I love stories now. So Sapsorrow, as you guys could tell, because I saw Bandit saying it a couple times, is also based off of the story of the donkey skin, which is actually more of an English variation of the story. So like I said, things kind of always, you can pinpoint when they're going back.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, not sorry on the sticker. Yeah, so you can actually pinpoint when these things were made, but there's no way of saying like when and how, and things travel and move so quickly. Thank you for the pop sticker, Loon. Moves so quickly and massively over time. It's kind of like even like in modern day, creepypastas are considered folklore by some and not by others, because we can tell where these stories come from. But like for Slenderman, for example, the story varies from person to person on what you ask them is the Slenderman, who the Slenderman is, who the operator is, what the story is, as well as like Jeff the Killer and how there's like 20 million different stories about Jeff the Killer. The main difference between that and a fairy tale is that folklore and fairy tale, there is no pinpoint beginning. Where with the internet, we can find the pinpoint beginning to these creepypastas, which is really interesting. Florissa, please send it in the Discord, pretty please. I think I might have links off. I don't remember if I do or not, but please send it in the Discord, please, 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 please. So yeah, that was my Cinderella segment. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I can put the stuff that I learned in the different things up on the Discord for you guys afterwards. And I was thinking of trying to bully Loon and Annie to join me in Minecraft to finish up the night. It's already in the Discord, Rad. Yes, you work at 6 a.m., but it is only 7 o'clock. So you have a couple hours to hang out. Loon. Loon. Come break some blocks with me. That's fair. Well, if I can't get these two to play, I might be on later with Annie. Okay, Loon. Fine. Fine. Betrayed. Betrayed! We might end off for the night then, and I'll be back on tomorrow, which is very exciting. I'm going to be on during the day. I'm going to be on around noon Eastern time. Oh, yes, of course, Bandit. Bandit just released a new Disco Elysium, which is a fantastic game. Please, please, please go over to his YouTube, which is linked in the Discord, and check out his new video. Tomorrow. Yeah, and Loon has drawing at 6 p.m. tomorrow, which I will be joining. I'll be joining that as well. I'm going to be starting my day off at 12 p.m. Eastern time with Demon Lord Raichu VT. They're doing their 2-year stream anniversary, and they invited me to come by and play on their channel, so I will be streaming that and hanging out with everybody over there. So I hope to see you guys. If not, that's totally fine. I know it's early in the morning for some of y'all. But yeah, I think we'll end stream a little bit early today. But thank you guys for coming by. I hope you liked the this version of it. I'm still trying to figure out how to do the Tall Tale Tuesdays in a way that's still really fun for everybody. So I think that was really good to have the episode and reading the story, because you guys do seem to enjoy when I do read. So, and it's fun. It's fun to read. So I'll post this up on YouTube and it'll be up there. If you're not on the Discord, I suggest you guys jump on. We post when we're going to be going live, different news things. I'll be posting contests when we get a little bit bigger, as well as raffles. You can also get my music recommendations, what games I play, and you can see some art from future and past streams that we do. If you post your art up on the Your Art area of my Discord, I will be putting it in my up in my thing. Hello, Goat Scribble! Seth is one of my other streaming buddies. If you haven't followed them yet, go follow them. They're going to be streaming soon. I think they're getting really, really far with their model, which looks amazing. Remember, kids, don't marry a prince who's a massive D-bag to people who look different. Yeah, really. Yeah, really. The idea is that he loved her despite her being a monster. But you see where it's definitely a cross between Beauty and the Beast, where the idea is true love can see past everything, and the idea of a girl escaping her past with some supernatural magic and being able to marry up in the world. Unless you plan to divorce him for half the fortune. Hell yeah. I've been here the whole time. I just didn't chat. Also, thank you. Yeah, no problem. I can't really see who's in or out of chat because I don't keep Twitch open while I'm streaming because it eats my bandwidth. Land handshake. Word constellations. Remember, kids, marry the prince, take the valuables, then run. Continue being a hairy lady. It's fine. Hashtag don't shave the pit. Free the tit. Hey. But yeah. So yeah, I'll be streaming tomorrow at 12 PST or EST. There we go. 12 EST with Demon Lord Raichu. If you haven't checked him out, please do. And I'll be on later with Loon. Maybe I can talk Loon into doing some figure drawing with me live. Repeat the process until you run out of princes. 100%. 100%. Next week, I think that we'll actually focus on the Seven Sons, which I think you guys will really like that story. So I'll add a couple ones. It's also known as like the Seven Swans or the Seven Brothers. It's told many different ways, many different there's certain stories that have been retold recently, but we can't really focus on those ones because those are brand new Netflix ones. Where we can do some commentary and talk about it because my stuff is more educational, so it still falls under copyright. But I still want to be more careful about newer stuff. But I'd still like to share the story of the Seven Brothers with you, or the Seven Crows. If you run out of princes, go for the king, says Constellations. Hell yes, yes, bring it on! Hell yeah! But yeah, I'm really glad we got to watch over these. It's so cool that you guys actually knew the donkey skin too, because that version's really cool, where like instead of the prince coming down and speaking to her every day and her telling him the awful things that he would say to her, it's like it talks about she mentions the chef, and she says where I come from is like the broken ladle, or the land of the thrown cattle, stuff like that, where she talks about her abuse. It's really cool. I'm ADHD signing off, so who knows where I'm at now. I'm also over on YouTube. If you guys want to check me out over on YouTube, I'm using it kind of like an archive for posts like this. So any gaming or storytelling where I'm just playing lo-fi in the background, that's all getting uploaded to my YouTube under the same name. You can look me up there as Totally Not a Fairy. I think that's everything. I'm also on Twitter. I'm on everything. Just look up Totally Not a Fairy and you might find me. I know it from the Fables comic book from Vertigo. Yes! I love that comic and I loved that game. So good. That'd be a fun... I haven't actually beat that game, so that'd be a fun one to do on stream. So I'll think about actually playing that one on stream with you guys. But yeah, I think we'll end off for the night. Thank you guys so much for coming out, and I'll see you guys later. Ciao for now. Bye, guys. Bye.